You know my name, not my story. You know my name, not my story.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Sound of Accra Podcast season finale. My name's Adrian Daniels, and if this is your first time watching, just want to let you know this is the show where we chat with colourful creatives and entrepreneurs from a Ghanaian heritage or interest. I'm sat here with Darren Bonds, the entrepreneur. Darren, how you doing, man?
I'm good, how are you?
Not too bad, like your top.
Good. Thank you.
Darren, what can I say? You've had quite a journey that I want to share with the whole world. And I think this would be a great platform to share the journey you've taken. I know you're a big man with quotes. When it comes to quotes, I know quotes is your thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little icebreaker.
Okay.
I'm going to hand you a quote, and this is something either that you've maybe put on your Instagram, it's something maybe it's a title of a book that you've read,
Okay.
or it's something that you've shared with me.
Okay, cool.
And I want you to either interpret it or tell like a little story behind it.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Good.
So this is the first one.
Right.
If you can't read it, let me know.
Okay. It's not the big that eat the small, it's the fast that eat the slow.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
It sounds
Do you want
familiar.
to remind you what?
Yeah, remind me.
It's a book.
Okay, yeah, it is a book. It is a book, yeah. Okay, so you want me to give my interpretation on?
Yeah. What's your interpretation? Or what did you like learn from that?
Just literally it's self-explanatory. I mean, it's literally the fast that eat the slow. It's the fast people that, you know, grasp the opportunities are the ones that win, you know. The slow, they don't eat. It's the fast that eat. So that's literally it's self-explanatory. So yeah.
First move is advantage.
Yeah, first move.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're going to go into that a little bit more because I know, of course, we're going to go into like your time in Ghana and what you've done and what you've accomplished. I know years ago, I think maybe 2016, 2017, you're like, Adrian, you need to get yourself down here. You know, if you don't get yourself in at the right time, things are going to pass by and you're going to get
then this is very relevant. Yeah.
First move is advantage.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Cool. So you can put it down. Let's go to the next one.
Okay, cool.
You should recognize this one.
Okay. Dreams become reality when intentions turn into actions.
Do you remember where that's from?
Another familiar one. Is this from a book?
Your Instagram.
I said this?
Yeah. One of your opportunities.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So my interpretation on it? Or what I mean when I said?
Or if there's like a backstory.
Okay, just again, it's similar to the last one. Just, you know, making things real rather than just thinking about it, just doing it, just taking action to make things real. Yeah. I mean, procrastination, to me, procrastination is just, it's a waste of time. I would rather do something and fail than, you know, just dream about it. So that's what I take from this. Yeah. Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah. And that also reminds me of when you reach 10 years in Ghana, you put out a post talking about how the power of manifestation is real and how you speak in things into existence. So you could say that those two have a parallel. Yeah,
100%.
And that post as well.
100%. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's coming up to 12 years now. In March, I would have been in Ghana 12 years.
Yeah.
I think, you know, at the time when I was moving, I think, you know, the first thing I thought was, you know, I had been coming back and forth from about maybe 2010. Maybe, and you know, every time I came, things were changing. You know, even if it's a new road, a new some development where you're like, look, if I miss this, that I'm dead. And I remember at the time, my dad, there was a piece of land that my dad had advised me to buy. This was maybe 2000. I hadn't been, but he had said, look, this is a good opportunity. You need to buy this land. And when I actually came to Ghana, what I think at the time it was like, and this is in a good area. This is like, it was near Osu. And
okay, and you bought that land?
No, I didn't buy the land.
Okay.
I was like, what am I buying land in Ghana? What business that? I don't know. There's nothing in Ghana for me.
Yeah.
And I remember when I came, I was like, oh, take me to the land. This was like 3-4 years later I came.
Yeah.
He was like, what are you talking about? That land's gone. But I was like, I'm just curious, if we want land in that same area, how much would it cost me? I remember at the time it was going for maybe $30,000 or something like that. But when I came to and I was interested, I mean, it was almost like 150 or something like that. So I think that was a wake-up call that, if you're slow, you miss the boat. You really miss the boat. So
it makes a lot of sense. And I think it's a really important lesson that if you don't really act upon, if you don't really implement, an opportunity that you've seen, you literally missed the boat. Oh,
100%.
You missed the boat, and that
100%.
other bus may not come.
Yeah.
So you need to take the action now.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of you talking about land and stuff, we'll come back to some of the rest of the quotes later. Maybe we can pick these up towards the end of the episode.
Okay.
Let's talk about your move to Ghana. I think this probably sets the scene. So you talking about land, if we fast forward to from your beginning of your time in Ghana to maybe now, of course, like you picked up a strong interest and a strong competency in real estate, on all these other aspects of business. Let's go back to the beginning. So when you first came, what was your initial impressions and your feelings about like being in Ghana? And obviously, like I know you were a little bit involved with your dad, and you were seeing what he was doing.
Right.
Like, what was your first impressions when you took that leap of faith and you just packed your bags and you went to Ghana? When you like the first maybe few months, first few weeks, like what was your initial impressions of Ghana and doing business and your feelings? Talk to me, Darren.
You have to remember, when I came, it's not the Ghana people see today. The Ghana people see today is like Las Vegas. It's like literally like when I came, it was when I moved, Golden Tulip.
Golden Tulip.
There was no road outside the main road. That Golden Tulip road was not there. No, it didn't exist. It was a dirt road, right? But I'm giving you so there's context as to when I moved, right? And my first feelings were, can I do it? Can I really stay here long? And when I first came, I actually was going back and forth to London. I couldn't stay in Ghana longer than 3-4 weeks at a time. I was going back to London at least once every 3 to 4 weeks.
Were you having cold feet though?
No, cold feet. Don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say I had cold feet. It wasn't cold feet. It was more culture shock, a massive culture shock, because you have to remember, Ghana is a place that you can wake up one morning, internet, electricity, your toaster, your iron, everything's broken. There's no reason for it, it's just broken, right? And you have to find a way. You still have your day to get on, you still have the meeting to go to, so things can go very wrong, and it's not something where, you go online and you can go on an app and, somebody will just come fix your stuff. You have to know somebody for absolutely everything. And that was one of the biggest challenges when I first came, getting to understand that you need about 2 or 3 people that can do everything. 3 plumbers, 3 carpenters, 3, you need them for everything, because the first one's going to let you down. Second one might say it's going to be an hour when it takes 3. But you need to fix this thing now, so these are things that you learn as you come here. I mean, if you ask me now, Darren, where can I get green shoelaces? I've probably got a number for it. Because you have to have a number to solve all your issues, because it's not as simple as just logging online and then 10 companies coming up to say this is what you can get.
Different systems, isn't it? Like
totally different system.
And of course,
exactly, totally different system. So it wasn't cold feet. It was just a massive culture shock. Massive culture shock. Yeah.
But clearly you got over that hurdle, and of course, obviously you've gone on to venture into different things. I mean, you mentioned to me the other day that you tried every business under the sun.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's taxis or getting into hospitality, nightclubs as well. I think that's when you start to.
I started. It was nightclubs that I really started.
You started to build a little bit of a network from that.
Yeah.
Talk to me about those kind of early, early successes through some of those ventures that you went into, like the clubs, maybe a little bit of hospitality, a little bit of investments here, investment there.
So I mean, the club. The purpose behind the club again was seeing the opportunity of the lack of clubs. You know, when I first moved, it was more, you had like drinking spots. Yeah. And you maybe had one club at a time. Yeah. That club was Twist at the time. Yeah. But it was just seeing that there was a lack of, you know, and every place you went to, I felt like there was, outside of Twist, every place I went to, there was no effort put into the business. It was just, you know, paint the walls, put speakers in, put some chairs, open, you know. So the first business was more kind of giving an experience to people, you know, outside of what they were used to, you know. I remember when we were first building it, it was like, you know, a lot of people disagreed with how much effort went into it because it was like, it's just a club. Yeah. And you know, in Ghana, industries are now just being created. Now in Ghana, there's a hospitality industry. Before there wasn't a hospitality industry, you know. So it was challenging, but it was also rewarding. But again, club for me was never about the money. It was more about the network.
Really?
It was never about the money.
Okay. So you knew that straight away. You knew this was like this was a vehicle for you to build up your network rather than just to generate cash flow.
100%.
Okay.
Because clubs are not a long-term business. So outside of the money, what else can you gain from it? Yeah. You know, every big man is going to walk through your doors. You know, everybody that's of somebody is going to walk through your doors. True. And that's how I got a good network here in Ghana, because again, you know, everybody likes to have fun, regardless of whatever background you're from. You like to have fun. Yeah. At the time, it was looked down upon. I remember a lot of my uncles were saying, "Why you open a nightclub? You're going to be perceived in a certain way." Yeah. But you look past the fact that I didn't go to school here. I didn't speak the language. Yeah. I mean, what other? How else am I going to enter Accra? How else am I going to do it? You understand what I'm trying to say? So sense. It was more.
That's quite interesting strategy, you know, to enter, you know, to kind of like navigate, you know, the market and navigate, you know, your connections list.
Yeah, 100%.
Never thought about it that way. Yeah, but that's very clever.
It's more about the network for me than the money. So again, after that, it was just, you know, how could I use that as a stepping stone to go into other things. Yeah.
And clearly that's what it did for you. I mean, you opened up some business lounges, which were good.
Yeah.
So you've gone into real estate. Yeah. Some really successful businesses. Before you got there, you definitely had some low moments.
Oh yeah.
I remember there were times where you probably even had to borrow money, right?
Yeah.
Just to stay afloat.
Oh yeah.
I asked one of my guests that I interviewed the other day this. I'm going to ask you this. Was there a moment, Darren, where you were very close to picking up your bags and going back to London and say, "I'm done with Ghana. I'm done. I'm going back to Aberystwyth. I'm done. That's it."
You know, the moment you pass 2 years in Ghana, you can't go back. The moment, because you feel so invested. You know, you've learned so much. You know, and remember, every day you wake up. In the UK, you don't have enough role model examples of people that are successful to use that as your vim to go and, you know. In Ghana, you know, everybody that's successful is your skin color. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So at least you have a daily reminder that it's possible, you know. So that's why after I passed 2 years, there was no going back. And it was like, go back to do what? You see what I'm saying? What am I going back to London to actually do? Yeah. So that's why I decided to stay no matter how hard it got. No matter how hard it got. I mean, there are a lot of people, around the time I moved, there are a lot of people that came to Ghana. There was a big community of UK born and raised that had moved, US born and raised. A lot of them moved back. But it was more like, I didn't want to feel like I'd lost that something, you know, because to invest that much time in a country, you have to stick it out. And it's home, regardless of how you want to see it. It's always going to be home.
It's true.
So it was just to kind of see it through, you know. Yeah.
And of course, you made the most out of it. I mean, if we fast forward now, I mean, obviously you're doing pretty well. let's talk about some of the things that you've been involved in. So now, if we kind of go back to, obviously, if we kind of look ahead from when you saw that piece of land that your dad was showing you, and you didn't really recognize the value. Now you're probably maybe not a completely different person, but you've gone through a lot of transformation, gone through a lot of life experiences. You've gained a lot of wisdom, knowledge through that process. Of course, along the way to your success, obviously you were a little bit involved with Nana, Nana Bediako. Talk to me about some of the projects that you worked on. I mean, I know you worked with Kwarleyz, Number One, on Oxford Street. Talk to me through some of the projects that you were proud that you put together that are part of Accra's, some of the landmarks in Accra.
So those projects were, I think, those were a big eye opener to again see what was possible. Working and being involved in those projects was a very, very good experience. We learned a lot in those projects, and I was able to take a lot of knowledge to be able to apply that to other things that I'm doing now. Number One especially was a very, very interesting project because it was such a diverse project in terms of the expectations of the project. You see a big building with lights on it, but everything that went into that project, it wasn't easy. There were some nights we were at the site till 5-6 a.m. like we hadn't slept from the morning before.
That's insane.
Because we had deadlines to meet and stuff. But Nana's he's a visionary, so he was always very, very focused on getting it finished, and we were a great team to be able to finish it. And Kwarleyz, all of them. Very, very intense projects because they were so ahead of their time. In terms of from the decor to the way the business is run. So when you're bringing something that is new, it's a massive risk. It's a massive risk because you're talking about things that people have just started doing in other parts of the world.
Especially in this country.
Especially in the country. Your human resource isn't maybe at par with other countries. Even your electricity supply, your water supply, the basic things that we take for granted in the rest of the world, these are things that run your business. When somebody's paying you money to stay in a hotel, you can never say to them, oh, there's water shortage. You can't say that to somebody that's paying money to stay in your hotel. But it's a general problem, you see? But so all of these things are massive factors. But again, being part of those projects was very good. It was very humbling experience, and
What did you learn the most working with him and working on all of these projects? Some of your key learnings.
The moment you start, you can't stop. Because once the building's there, it's just, if you walk away, all that's going to happen is somebody's going to come and finish it for you. So you might as well be the one to finish it.
Okay, so once you start constructing the building,
anything. Once you start anything in life, you just can't stop. Find a way. If you have to find partners, whatever it is, you have to find a way. I think that's the most I took from it. And obviously problem solving as well. It's like, because those big projects were so big, there's no problem solving I find difficult now, things people might find extremely difficult, but because you know where you've been and the kind of decisions you had to make at the time, the scale of your problem solving becomes a lot more proportionate. Like general problems don't become problems anymore. They just become issues.
Smaller, So would you say, like, as a person, as an entrepreneur, like each project you learned from it, and it put you out your comfort zone a little bit, and it took you like to the next level where you're able to kind of have that capacity to take on the next project.
100%. Because remember, these projects they were all running simultaneously. So whatever 100 problems you had with Number One, you might have with Kwarleyz, you might have with Belgravia. So
like
again,
almost like for like kind of projects.
They were very different types of projects. So your problem solving skills had to be like snappy, because construction, the biggest expense in construction is time, nothing else. It's the time that you lose. That's the biggest expense. So it teaches you to kind of be on your feet and make decisions very, very quickly, decisive decisions, you know, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very interesting
Yeah.
point, because people think it's usually the cost, but it's actually the time, because obviously if the time of the project is delayed, then project management is, you know, paying the builders, paying the construction workers, etc. That's going to extend the cost overall. So, you know, the more time that goes into it, actually the more cost that goes into the project. So that's the way people probably need to see it. Yeah, but you've definitely worked on some really interesting projects. I think number one is definitely one of my favorite ones. Going to school at Morningstar in Cantonments. Obviously now when I drive past that street, just seeing that building there, it's just completely changed the game, because like, of course when I went to school at Morningstar, nothing like that was on Oxford Street. So I feel like, you know, that location and that building really stands out in the class. So, you know, really I want to say, you know, well done to these projects that you helped to bring to life, to change, you know, the landscape of Accra.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I mean, you've definitely turned into this entrepreneur and this role model for the diaspora, I would say. And of course, I mean, you had this alter ego that came about, Darren Bonds. I mean, talk to me through that. So, I mean, you're a James Bond fan, right?
Yeah. I'm a James Bond fan.
Yeah, of course, a James Bond fan.
Yeah. So that alter ego came when it was more to do with his character. He's more like he's a doer. You know, he's a doer. He does more than he says. Yeah. You know, that's where it really came from. You know, just being more of an action-driven person than a verbal-driven person. A lot of things that I do day to day, I would rather do them than say I'm going to do them. Yeah. You know, because I feel like when you say you're going to do things, you don't have the time to necessarily figure it out, and you could just be seen as a big talker. You know, and I would never like to be perceived that way. I'd always like to be perceived as somebody that's just done it. You know.
Yeah, very important.
Execution based,
world. Very important in the social media world we have today. People love to just say, I'm doing this, I'm going in.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody says they're going to do something. It's, you know, but it's until you've done it. Yeah,
now,
it's a New Year's resolution. Yeah. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But until you've done it, it's just talk, you know, and it refers back to all those quotes. It's just until you've done it, it's literally just talk, you know. So it was more based, that alter ego is based on that, just being an action-driven person. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, over the years, I've seen obviously your following grow. I've seen people looking up to you more and things like that. Of course, now that obviously when you're in Accra, you're usually like a go-to person for for various things. How do you like handle like all of the like, when people are reaching out to, all of the attention that you're getting, all of the outreach that you're getting? Is that overwhelming? Is it something that you see as a compliment? Like, how do you handle all of this attention now? It's definitely a compliment. Again, because I don't focus on that, it sometimes it's surprising. You know, you'll go places, people know who you are, and it's like, for me, it's like you're just doing what you have to do, you know. But then when people kind of, you know, say, "Oh, you're that," it's quite interesting, because I'm not used to that. Do you understand what I mean? Social media to me is fun. You definitely have to be able to separate yourself from social media to the real world, because I kind of feel like our generation are the last generation that are able to separate, and it's a small details. Like, I have friends that are younger than me that will call me on Snapchat. Yeah. Right.
No way.
And I've never understood it, but for that generation, it's normal.
It's normal.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah. But I'm used to, either call me direct, at the bare minimum call me on WhatsApp, right? But it just shows you the mentality shift. You know, social media now, somebody can have a full-blown conversation with you on Snapchat. I can't. Yeah. The thought of my conversation disappearing gives me anxiety, because it's like, I want to remember what we're talking about. You understand? So it's just, it's interesting, because it's nothing wrong with it. It's just not the time I was born in, or what I'm used to. We are right on the cusp, generation.
What is it? Millennial, Gen X, Gen Z.
But we're still classed as millennials.
Yeah, we're still
classed as millennials, but it's that we're right on the cusp. Do you understand? Of where we had internet, but now you've got a generation that internet is their norm, like it's their total norm. And more power to them, because you've got teenage millionaires are being made every single day online. So more power to them. If that's your normality and that's how you make your money, by all means.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
By all means,
absolutely, yeah. So going back to the whole role model stuff. I mean, I know you've done IG lives in the past, Instagram lives in the past, where people have asked you for advice.
Yeah.
Has there been like a moment or like a question that you were asked, or like maybe kind of advice that you've given that maybe really helped someone or really kind of transformed someone's life?
So a lot of younger people, when they reach out to me, a lot of them ask, how can they be like me? And I always say to them, they should never want to be like you, because first of all, they don't know what you did to get to where you are. Yeah. Okay. And second of all, everybody has their own gift. So if you try to be like me, you're doing disjustice to yourself, disfavor to yourself. Yeah. Because what I might be good at, you may not be good at. What you may be good at, I may not be good at. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's very, you have to be able to tap into your own gifts and maximize on your own gifts. God gave us all different gifts. No one has the same gifts. There you go. So it's like asking an athlete, how can I be an athlete? But if you haven't lived their life, you can't. But you could be a great coach. You could be a great, whatever. Do you understand? So everyone has different talents. So that's probably one of the number one questions I do get asked. But
number one question.
It's how can you kind of tap into your own gifts? And because at the end of the day, whatever you do, the aim is to be better. The aim is to be better, the best version of yourself. So not the best version of somebody else. Yeah. So that's definitely the number one question. Yeah.
Do you feel like you still quite a way to go to hit your full potential?
100%. I think because of the way life is, none of us ever reach our full potential. True. Because you constantly learn different things along the years. Yeah. What interests me today won't interest me in 10 years. Yeah. So it's how you just keep evolving. You just keep on evolving. Yeah. In 10 years I might say that I want to go and live in a barn. I don't know. Do you understand? There might be something that happens in my life between now and 10 years from now, or in between the next decade, that makes me want to do that. You see what I'm saying? So I understand. Yeah. I don't think anybody reaches their full potential of themselves.
Always. I think as times change, we change with it as well.
Yeah.
And we continue 100%. To grow and evolve as well.
Yeah. And the older we grow, the more I realize we know nothing. Yeah. We actually know nothing, because we grow, you learn different things, and then you start to realize we don't know anything.
It's true.
We don't know anything. No one has the right answers to how life should be lived. No one has the right answers to nothing. You see, so
we'll continue. Yeah. We continue to learn.
Exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of quotes at the beginning of the podcast, I think one of my favorite quotes is, when you're in a room with people that you don't know, just pretend to not be the smartest person, be rather the dumbest person. Right. So you can kind of take in, absorb everything like a sponge. Yeah. All of the wisdom and knowledge that's in that room. Yeah. So you don't be perceived as arrogant or like cocky.
Observing it allows you to actually learn. Yeah. When you're actually listening in a room, you get a chance to go away, observe, and analyze what was actually said in that room. To be able to apply it to your own life. Or if you're the one that's constantly talking, you're never going to hear what anybody has to say. So
it's true. Yeah. 2 ears, 1 mouth.
Exactly.
God gave us 2 ears. 1 mouth.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you basically, you've been here for 12 years now. Yeah. And would you? I mean, I could say, we could argue that you have like maybe not for everybody, but you've got some kind of blueprint. You understand, like moving to Ghana, or just moving to another country, like the pitfalls and what to look out for, how to approach it. What's some of the advice, like the warnings that you give to the diaspora that want to kind of follow in your footsteps, or even just make the move to Ghana and just be successful in their own right? Maybe not a Darren Bonds. I know there's Instagram copycat accounts of you. Oh, yeah. I mean, and obviously when you see that, it's only a compliment, right?
Yeah, right.
what advice would you give, and what warnings would you give to the diaspora that want to, maybe not even just Ghana, it could apply to maybe other similar countries as well. I know one thing that you mentioned is don't just move over. Probably want to have like a job that you can work remotely whilst you're here, and then maybe start a side hustle and build it up, and then maybe to make the switch. What's some of your advice?
No, I agree with what you said. I think if the easiest way, I think, would be if you do have a job that I mean, now, you know, because of the pandemic, it's allowed people to work from home. So the good thing is now people have the opportunity to be able to be in another country but still be able to log in and work. If you have that opportunity, then take it. You know, now more than ever, because working remotely it's now become a norm, you know, and just allow you to kind of immerse yourself in the culture, you know. I remember you actually said in one of your podcasts, you said, you said, live like a local. Budget like a local. Live like a president. That's the one. That's the one. Because you're right. When people come, because of they're bringing foreign currency, it's very strong here. So you start to maybe live over your means of what you would have necessarily done if you were living even in London or the US. But at least if you come here, you know, still being allowed, still being, you know, working remotely, you at least have the opportunity to kind of just get time to understand the country. Because one of the mistakes I made is I didn't have a backup, and not having a backup, it made me make a lot of decisions that I wouldn't have made if I was in a position of stability. You see what I'm saying? So I opened some businesses in a rush. I opened some businesses because I needed to open some businesses, but if I could go back, I would have probably done it in a different way, where, you know, every decision you make, you're making from the decision of stability, not necessity.
So like, you know, more kind of proactive than reactive. Yeah. Okay.
100%.
That's an interesting one.
But again, my life as a norm has been an entrepreneur. So somebody that is now wants to become an entrepreneur, they have to be willing to accept that if you're not used to taking decisions like that, you have to ease yourself into it. It's not something that, you know, because again, like I said, Ghana, to survive here, you can't just do one thing.
True.
You can't do one thing. You have to do 3 or 4 things to just survive. I'm not even talking about succeed. I'm just saying survive. You have to do 3 or 4 things. So
especially when it relies on people, right?
If it relies on people, just the fact that Ghana, everything is so cash based. You know, you need to be able to have more than one stream of income to be able to live consistently. You know,
because like money just goes left. It
goes left, right, and center. It goes left, right, and center. Like we don't see it, but it does. You know, so if you understand that, it's easier to kind of navigate yourself through moving. You know,
No, totally agree. I mean, definitely people shouldn't be naive when they come over here, because I mean, it's so easy to see how people are living online on social media. It's so easy to just, you know, spend all this money in the clubs, the bars, whatever it is that you're doing, and you feel like you still got a bit of money left. But you know, if you're, I think what I'm trying to say is, living here is not the same as being on vacation here. 100%.
100%.
It's not the same.
It's not the same at all.
It's not the same
at all. You know, so it's definitely anybody I would advise, if you want to move here, come in the non-peak seasons. Come and see what life is like. Not at Christmas, not at Easter, just on a regular month, on a, you know, a June, on a July, on a, you know, see what the country is like then, and see if it works for you. You know, you need to see if it works for you, 100%. You know, so, you know, the good thing is now, because Ghana's becoming a destination, you get a chance to meet a lot of like-minded people that you can relate to, which allows you just to, it makes your transition a bit easier. You know, so it does. And I think just looking at today, I mean, there's like so many Americans, so many Canadians. I think the UK diaspora's always kind of been there, but now it's just growing. It is. So I think when you have this kind of community, it definitely helps to acclimatize to Ghana as well. And I think that's something I've noticed as well. And of course, like the internet,
speed has caught up. There's different things where you feel like, okay, you would feel like you're in London, but you're not.
Yeah.
Or like America, whatever it is. So yeah, I definitely agree with all of those points.
Yeah.
Back to your businesses, right? What are some of the proudest things that you've done whilst being in Ghana, and some of the biggest lessons that you've learned?
I would say the proudest. All are equal to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All are equal because they're all contributing factors to where I am today.
Yeah.
They're all contributing. Whether you lost, whether you won, there is still a contributing factor, because whatever business didn't work, it's allowed me to say, okay, I'm not going down that road again because of A, B, and C.
Yeah.
You know, so I get people, you know, call me from abroad all the time that want to come to Ghana, that want to invest in Ghana, with all these business ideas, and immediately I hear it, I can say, no, don't, because of A, B, and C. That's experience. That's experience. Is you know, so it allows you. I consult a number of different African Americans that do want to invest also in Ghana, and I just give them the real, because if you don't give them the real, Ghana will take longer to develop, you know. But if you give them the real, then at least you allow people to gain some trust. You know, the worst thing you want to do is to oversell a country. Everyone comes in and they run away. You
100%.
see what I'm saying? So it's better to just be realistic and say, no, okay, yes, there's massive opportunities in Ghana. There are massive opportunities in Ghana. But just take into account A, B, and C, because those things are big things that can affect your business.
Was there like a big pitfall that you like ran in? I mean, of course, there was probably pitfalls, right? Yeah. Was there like a big, like, oh my gosh, like, I wish I knew that moment when you were living here? Well, I mean, obviously you live here, but like during the time that you live in Ghana, was there anything that stands out to you then? Like maybe you went through that particular thing and like, you know, oh, I wish I knew this. I wish, you know, someone told me about this.
So maybe 2014, I opened a chain of fast food Chinese restaurants.
Yeah,
right?
I remember that.
They were called Kung Food Takeaway.
Yeah.
And I opened 4 in the space of around 1 year.
Wow. Okay.
And I remember at the time, my prices were based on, you know, because I had to import a lot of, you know, Chinese ingredients, blah, blah, blah. And my prices were based on, you know, the Ghanaian city, but I was importing.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening is, because the city around that time started to depreciate, I couldn't maintain the prices of my food.
Okay.
Because I was importing everything, and I'm importing based on the dollar.
Yeah.
So what happened is, the food prices became too expensive.
Okay.
Now, could anybody plan for this? No, I don't study economics, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But and neither do I study inflation. But you know, but again, it's only experience that now you take that into account as another factor in your business operation. Now, any business I do, I always take into account, can the depreciation of the city affect my business?
True.
And if that same money it needs to be required on the world market for whatever it is, whether it's trading, whatever it is, and it can be affected, then I'm not going there. Or if I'm going there, what kind of you know, safety nets am I putting there to ensure I don't lose?
Is this why real estate as an asset has really appealed to you?
100%. Our real estate is based on the US dollar, so it allows you to, again, peg your investment. It allows you to peg your investment on something, you know, and they always charge, let's say, rents and sales are always based on the dollar equivalent at the time, which isn't a nice feeling. I mean, of course, you would love to just have it as the city, but the real is the real. Do you understand? So
dollars.
Yeah.
And this is a question that's just come to mind. Of course, you know, everyone is racing. Like you said on one of your Instagram posts that, you know, this would be a country that everybody would race to. Right? Now that's actually happening. Obviously, it's a prophecy that's been fulfilled, that you foresaw. right now we see everyone racing to Ghana to to purchase property and to rent out property, and obviously we've just gone past December. So much property is being rented out. People can't even get rooms. It's just absolutely insanity.
Yeah.
So this is like a double barrel question to you, right? Where do you see the market going maybe in the next 5 years? I mean, it's hard to tell, right? But I mean, in your eyes, like, where do you see the property real estate market going in terms of buying property and renting a property? People are saying that now, like, prices are being pushed up too high because everybody's running to Accra. Like, how do you see that landscape like evolving? Like, do you think Accra is gonna be too expensive that people can't afford anymore? Or do you feel like there's gonna be maybe a bit more affordable property in Accra, or are we gonna now start to see, for example, Nana's project in Western region?
Right.
I can't remember the name of it. Are we gonna start to see maybe little smart cities or a metropolis being built?
100%. So right now, if you look at Accra, right?
Yeah.
It's like Accra, in the grander scheme of things, is a very, very small city, right? And we only have specific pockets of land that can be developed, right? That have infrastructure for development, right?
Yeah.
So naturally, what happens is it's all demand and supply driven, right? There's a heavy demand right now for real estate, whether it be from locals, whether it be from foreign investors. There's a demand.
Yeah.
But naturally, what happens is that the moment the center becomes too saturated, it starts to spread. Naturally, that's what happens.
Yeah.
So now, because there are still small pockets, people can develop, people can buy, people can whatever.
Yeah.
The spread hasn't happened yet, as it's going to.
Yeah.
The spread only happens when there's nothing left. It's a dry desert. That's the only time the spread happens, where it now becomes where people can actually say, you know what, I can't get, so I'm gonna have to look at moving further out.
A little bit like the UK. London,
yeah, because some people look down on moving out of Accra, but that's still because they still have the choice. When you have the choice, whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to move out. So
get kicked out.
Yeah. So naturally, that's what I think is gonna happen.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Okay. So yeah, I know you've got quite a few. Obviously, you've got quite a few investments that you've been doing in Ghana. Obviously, you've been in Accra for a while. You've been in Ghana for a while. You've gone through it. You're now a success. Talk us through some of the investments. I know that you've now started to look at America, US, as a new market to invest in.
Yeah.
Talk me through some of the motivations behind that and some of the investments you're going on.
So investments in America was based on the fact that, when the pandemic hit, it was how do you build sustainable businesses that can last, that are coronavirus proof, right? Not even coronavirus proof, but they can sustain coronavirus, right?
Yeah,
and naturally, what happens is, in Ghana, unfortunately, we don't have, government stimulation into the economy, right? The government's not going to wake up today and say, oh, I'm throwing 3 trillion into the economy, where everyone can say, okay, let me get my small share.
No stimulus, no furlough,
right? There's no stimulus, none of that. So, Ghana's now going to be licking its wounds, repairing from what happened, from the borders being closed to a whole bunch of stuff, right? Even barriers to entry to enter the country. It was already expensive to come into Ghana. Do you understand? From your visa to your flight to your accommodation. Yeah. Now you go and add your COVID test and your this and your that. By the time you've entered the country, you've spent your spending money. It's a big turn-off, you see, it's a big turn-off. Yeah. So the view on investing in America was because, again, there are stimuluses. It's just about diversifying. It's not anything else but just diversifying.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Multiple streams of income.
Yeah. So.
Okay. And is there any kind of like current or upcoming investments or projects that you're working on that you wanted to share?
Yeah. So I'm working on a few commercial real estate projects at the minute in America. So I've been back and forth a lot at the moment. A few commercial real estate, more hospitality related. Again, it's, moving into a city, same concept, How can I establish a network before I actually play big? That's my model,
Do you also see it as a new challenge? Do you also see it as a new challenge for you?
100%. New challenge. Not having 3 phone numbers, having to find those 3 phone numbers again for this, for that. Being burnt a few times with people that say they can do stuff, they can't do it. It's all a learning curve again. But again, it's all part of the process. Once you've done it, nobody can take that from you. That's the good thing about it. Nobody can ever take it from you.
One of my favorite lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. And do you see when you're investing in the US and in Ghana, do you definitely see any differences in terms of some of the cities over there compared to maybe the city, Accra, or other cities in Africa? Do you see any similarities, any differences that you feel maybe are advantages or maybe disadvantages?
Yeah, I think obviously America is a lot more developed than Ghana, but I do believe that there's some states in the US that are still developing. Yeah. If you live in the US, you won't see it, but because I've lived in this terrain, you can see it. You can see it's still a developing state. Or city, so there are opportunities still, and it's just a bigger market, it's a bigger market from the population to the spending power to so many different things, in Accra, your spending power is purely based on a lot of the time who unless you're looking to do business on a level of masses, right? But I also have to accept the truth that because I didn't grow up here, I will never understand the masses the way somebody that grew up here understands the masses.
It's true.
You see what I'm saying? So there's nothing. They will know. Do you understand? Because they know what impulsively why people buy. They know it. I would have to figure it out or have someone on my team that figures that out. But from a general standpoint, it's just a bigger market. Because you've got different things. You've got credit facilities. You've got so many different things. We don't really have that. So people have more buying power, consumer power and stuff. So
definitely, yeah. So it's safe to say you've taken your learnings, experience, and your resources, and you've been able to kind of get involved in business over there. Amazing. Yeah. Dan, I've enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Let's start to wrap this up with some of the quotes that we didn't get through. So here's another one. I want you to take a look at that. Okay. The moment you decide to stay ahead is the moment you never have to catch up. Okay, that's my quote. Yeah, finally is one that you remember.
Yeah, that's my quote. So this when I said this, it was more to do with it's more to do with never being kind of content with where you are mentally, And when I say content, I don't mean being dissatisfied. Yeah. I just mean just understanding that every morning you wake up, somebody wants your position every morning when somebody wants it. Do you understand? So the moment you decide to sleep, somebody's coming for it. That's the way I see things. Yeah. So that's why I always like to kind of I would like to believe to stay ahead. Never become complacent in my level of thinking. It's mainly mental. Yeah. Because there's always there's a younger person, somebody more able, somebody more fit that can come and take the rug from under your feet, So if you're not always kind of a step ahead, that's what happens. And you've seen it with massive businesses.
I've seen it with businesses with different industries, different types of things in the world. Yeah. And do you feel like that puts pressure on you, maybe as Darren, as Darren Bond?
No, it's fun. It's all part of the journey. It's fun. It's all part of the game. It's fun, because it just lets you see things from a different perspective all the time, and you're allowed to, it allows you to just kind of reflect, just before you go to bed, when you wake up, what did you do today? What could you have done better? Yeah. How tomorrow are you gonna, because today's not promised, tomorrow's not promised. So if you have a chance to wake up and recreate yourself or make yourself better, why not? Because tomorrow's not gonna wake up.
It's true.
It's true. Somebody's in a sick bed right now, wishing they had your problems. Whatever problems you think you had, somebody's there thinking and wishing, I wish I had that person's problems.
It's true. So pick your battles.
Yeah.
Let's finish up with this last one, Darren. Okay. It's a bit of a longer one. That just fell in the. Actually, there's two, but I'm gonna let you pick one. Okay. Just pick one.
I'll pick this one. Okay, cool. It's not the honor you take with you, it's the heritage you leave behind.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I posted that recently.
Yeah, it's another one that you posted.
This was to do with legacy. Yeah, this was to do with it was to do with legacy. It was to do with, you know, how can you, you know, whatever you do today, what impact do you leave for tomorrow? That's what is to do with. I think it's important because, you know, you want to live with a purpose. You want to live with, you know, when you leave behind, you want to have impacted some people's lives. It could be anybody. It could be something you said to them. It could be just making them smile. It could be whatever, you know, but it's just what, you know, it's your legacy. What do you leave behind? And that doesn't need to be money. It doesn't even need to be a name. Yeah. It just needs to be, you know, if something happens to you, what would that person say about you?
True.
You know, the people that have been in your life, what would they say about you? So yeah.
Is it Maya Angelou? It's how you make them. It's how you made them feel.
Right.
Isn't it?
100%.
I mean, feel. Yeah. And that's a good quote to kind of end this on.
Yeah.
Obviously, you mentioned legacy. Obviously, Virgil just passed.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's someone that left a legacy, and you know, hopefully, we're going to see you continue to do great things and leave a legacy of your own.
Right.
One last thing: is there anything that you want to, any kind of last bits of wisdom, gems, or anything that you wanted to say before we wrap this up? Whether it's someone that wants to move to Ghana, whether it's someone that wants to start business, whether that's someone that just wants to be the best version of themselves, Darren. Any tip, it could be anything. Take your time.
You see, I don't want to sound cliche, so yeah, because a lot of things.
Feel free to say cliche.
Nah, I mean,
feel free.
Sometimes
it works.
Look, just do it. Just do as you say.
Just do as you say.
Just do as you say.
Just do you.
Just do as you say, because you know, like I said, we live in a world now where everybody just talks, nobody does. So just do as you say. That's it.
So more doing, less talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And it could be anything. It could be if you decide that, you know, the family is what you want to go and have, go and have it. You understand? If whatever it is, it could be. If you say today that you're gonna, I don't know, whatever. You understand? Just do it. Just do it. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. Whatever it is that you want to pursue.
Yeah.
Darren, I've really enjoyed this conversation. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. For you guys watching, thanks for watching the Sound of Accra podcast. For the show notes for today's episode, please head over to soundofaccra.com/Darren Bond. We'll have all of the nuggets and the references from today's show. And yeah, that's it. That's all we have for season 3. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Adrian Daniels. You are
Darren Bond.
I always love to say that because it always throws everyone off. See you next time. Thank you. Right. Cheers.
We good?
Good?
All in one take.
Thank you.
Quick.